What is up, guys? It's your boy Lance back at it again with a new One Punch Man analysis video. Today we're gonna be looking at buff gears.
Welcome to hell.
Buff gears is a recent update into Southeast Asia. So it actually is pretty broken, but a lot of people are having misconceptions and misunderstandings regarding how it works. So I'm here to clarify. As a disclaimer, this is part one of a two-part series for the buff gears. I'm sorry I had to split the video, but it was just way too long and way too droning. So I think it's better if I just segregate it into the basic info, which will be in this video, and the more in-depth stuff like washing and all that in the next video. So next video you can expect it to come out on Friday, Thursday. I'll try to rush for it tomorrow, but I have no promises. Yeah. So let's get on to the nitty gritty. Yeah. So now, what are buff gears? Okay, to put it simply, buff gears is a card that can help you to boost your character stats, speed, and BP via your insignia, keepsake, or directly to your gears or your character itself. So basically, you can think of it as well additional gears. The mechanic is slightly different.
Oh my god!
Let's have a look at the types of buff gears. So I already split it into three sections. So there are three types actually. And then there are four different types of rarity, which is the common types that you know. They are green, blue, purple, and orange. So the first type is faction. So you have two factions, hero and monster. Very simple. So the stats that are locked into this category is flat attack, which is the normal attack value. They have attack percentage, flat defense, defense percentage, speed percentage, flat HP percentage, and enemy defense reduction. So enemy defense reduction is something new. It's not really desirable now because nobody really cares about defense. We don't really have a character that emphasizes defense. We don't Defense is kind of an insignificant stat right now, but people have been speculating that Pig God will be around defense. So who knows? Maybe defense gear might become amazing in the future, and Galen's horde of defense gear might actually come to use. Okay, so types of buff gear. The second type is based on your typing. So you have grappler, you have duelist, you have high tech and esper, which are the four categories that we have in the game. So the stats that are pertaining to this specific buff gear is crit percentage, block rate, flat defense, enemy defense reduction, attack, hit points, hit percentage, and resistance. So the next and last type of buff gear is described as level. So I would say that this is more closer to class rather than level. So just bear with the translations a little bit. I will give my own descriptions of it. So you have S class, A class, B class, C class, which is for the hero side. Then you have special. This is for outlaw and martial artists because they are not really categorized as such. And you have dragon, demon, and tiger for the monster side. And then they all carry attack, defense, or HP percentage. So stats wise, you can get HP, defense, attack, damage free, damage rate, extra damage resistance, reduce opponent defense, and then you can gain also additional skills known as augments. So what are augments, you might be thinking? So there is a very, very low chance for you to get an additional skill. These are known as augments, and they're only available in level type buff gear. So those with the classes, the only types of buff gears that actually carry these augments. So you have 9 types of augments, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, a total of 9. So I've segregated it into 3 different categories. So the first category is support/defensive types. So the first one being tenacity boost. So when a shield that you have erected is reduced, it converts an equal amount of value from that shield value reduction into HP. So let's say you have a tank stop master shield and you don't break it. Like you, if it's broken, I don't think that this tenacity boost will activate. So if you don't break through the shield, a certain percentage of the absorbed damage will be converted into character hit points. I think it's very good. Then you have block boost. Block damage can be converted into HP. Now this is very good if you have Silver Fang, because Silver Fang actually boosts your block rate by 30% for the first 2 rounds if I'm not mistaken. So definitely good for whales per se, because normally free to plays don't actually get Silver Fang. So yeah. And then you have damage reflection boost. Now I'm looking at all the CK players here and just thinking like, oh my god. Okay, when reflecting damage, reflect bonus value based on a certain amount of attack. So CK players, anything with any form of damage reflection, DSK core, that will be very good in this case. But DSK core one is not really common, so I think CK will be more likely than not the character to focus on if you get this defensive type augment. So now let's have a look at the attack type augment. So you have crit boost. So this is very good on characters which are very dependent on crit to do extra damage. So Amaimas, for in the future RMG, yes. So the portion of damage that is increased by critical strike is dealt as additional bonus damage to the target. So on top of when you land a crit, the crit value will add an extra additional bonus damage value, so on top of it. So pretty good. Then you have draining boost. Okay, to explain draining boost, you actually need to look at the talent system. There's actually a talent called Drain. It's available in most attackers, I think. I'm not sure whether it's present in defensive units, but I think there is also. I remember seeing it in CK if I'm not mistaken. So while in a draining state, attack increases continuously to a limit. So there will be a limit. So every round while in that draining state, your attack just stacks up and up and up, and then it resets when you attack, when you take an action. So pretty good if you are running speed 1 or speed 6 characters. I can see this working on characters from Amai if he has it. I'm not very sure. I know one character who does have it is Beast King, so definitely good on him. But that's only for events. I don't think anybody uses Beast King for PvP. So Berserk boost. While in Berserk state, attack increase continuously to a limit, resetting after taking action. So this works very well on Amai because he has a self berserk. Tatsumaki has a self berserk. There are a few other characters that also have self berserk. There's characters which can give berserk, Child Emperor as well as Movement Rider. So definitely good if your team plays around these characters that have either self-inflicting berserk, or you have a character that can give the berserk buff to your teammates. Yeah. And then you also have a basic attack boost. Now this is, for me, it's like a bit insignificant because do we really have basic attack champions right now? Not really. Follow up champions, maybe yes lah. I'm not sure whether it actually works in follow up, but I think it should. So Garo, I guess. Garo follows up Flashy if he's coming out next, definitely. So basic attack deals additional bonus attack damage. Quite straightforward. Next, we have what I categorize as unique types. So these are limited to the burning and internal injury boost. So burning boost and internal injury, upon activation, it will trigger additional splash damage to surrounding units. So basically, it's like Puri Puri passive, I guess. So once a character gets inflicted with burn damage, it spreads to other characters as additional damage. So pretty good, but burn is quite I wouldn't say insignificant, but it's pretty bad as a status condition, because corrode is just a way better status condition that triggers non-stop, in terms of the dot usage. Although burns damage is more, I would akin to it more burst like. So like when characters inflicted with burn, they take more damage in that round. I think corrode's ticking is more valuable. So I think burning boost is not really good per se. Now, internal injury boost, that is a different story because you have characters like Garo and Silver Fang and to a lesser extent Bakuzan that actually inflict internal injury. So you have more common characters that do internal injury and it does very very well. Internal injury is at the top of the meta now. Uh, so definitely this will be very valuable on internal injury. Not so much for burning, but definitely on internal injury. So I recommend you utilize these augments to bolster up specific units. So like for internal injury, you can use Silver Fang. For burning boost, if you're into that, you can play Blue Fire. And if for the shielding and the blocking, you can use Tank Top Master actually. And then they really benefit from these additional skills. Yeah, definitely makes them more tankier, more reliable supports, especially Silver Fang. Yeah. So where do I get buff gears? Some of you might be wondering. So by now, most of you would know where to get it, but there are some new players that are not really sure where to get buff gears, or some players that have just leveled up enough to probably clear the hard mode for CC. So when you open the CC tab, you will see a blue and a red icon. So the red icon is where you get your buff gears. So, according to the rankings done by my friend in China, Subterranean King seems to be the easiest, which is the polar opposite of the normal Conquer challenge. Deep Sea King is moderate, which is the same, and Sky King is inversely the hardest. So, why some people ask why Sky King actually is the hardest because of his clone thingy. It's so obnoxious and it just stuns you for days. So, I recommend that players who have insufficient amount of AoE, just don't do anything for now. Just stick to the levels that you can. Don't try to push too far. You're not going to gain anything so good right now because I think the issue has not been rectified. There's a drop issue in C now, which is similar in China. So the drops on floor 10 above are flat, so it doesn't scale up and increase. So I think those who are farming floor 12, floor 13, I think you should just go back to floor 10 because it's easier to clear number one and just farm from there. But if you find that you are gaining better drops, then please by all means go ahead. This is just a recommendation. You can ignore it if you want. So that's the end for part one. It's quite short because part two will be quite long because we will go into the nitty gritty of washing and I really thank you guys for the support. I recently hit 100 subs. It's not easy to put up content like this. It takes a lot of research and it takes a lot of consideration for me to do one or two videos because I want to put everything into one video, but I don't want you guys to watch like an hour video for no reason, you know. And then you feel like, oh shit, he could have just summarized this into two videos and things. So I just gonna do that, make it simple for you to watch. This is definitely not clickbait. I definitely give you a lot of information here. It's just that it might be information that you already know, but some players don't know it. So please have a look. There will be a part two coming out on Friday. We will get into the nitty gritty of washing as well as. Let me have a look. Locked stats, free to play. What are their advice for reversing and for locking stats? Uh, and also a few FAQs from some people. And then how to efficiently farm buff gears. Those will all be covered in the second video. So I do thank you for the continuous support. I do thank you for the definitely for the patience. I've been actually trying to push this video to come faster, but I've been quite busy domestically because I'm doing. I just finished my studies, so yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I know this information is not a lot. I'm really sorry, but yeah, the next video will be quite long. I'm expecting it to be at least. Currently, it looks about 20 minutes to half an hour. But once the elaboration starts coming in, maybe it go up to an hour. So just brace for that. Thank you so much, guys, for understanding. I hope this video helped you in whatever little bit that it did. Uh, just a very brief run through of buff gears. The next video will be more in depth. Uh, as always, stay home, stay safe. Peace.